From the gas tax debate to the latest on healthcare, Chip Limehouse speaks exclusively to me for the special edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. Mr. Limehouse.
Quintin.
It is so good to see you.
Good afternoon. Good Friday afternoon.
Yes, sir. Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo. You going to have some cervezas?
No, just quesadillas.
Just quesadillas? You're skinny. You can eat all the quesadillas you want to eat.
I want to, yeah, man. Well, let me turn to something that's very developing right now in the state of South Carolina. And Lauren Thomas from our WLTX in Columbia, Channel 19, said this. The conference committee adopts the 12 cents gas tax increase over 6 years without inflation into road bills. Into roads bill. What does that tell you?
Well, I'm happy that they have adopted the gas tax. I don't think in that tweet that she put out it spells out whether they adopted all of the tax rebates to our citizens. It doesn't say that in the tweet, so we'll...
And I believe they're doing some negotiations right now, too.
Yeah, at the time of this taping, we don't know that answer. We could find out. But we've got to fix our roads in the state of South Carolina. I thought the House plan was a very responsible. Straight up, it was 10 cents a gallon.
Okay.
Fix our roads. And I didn't understand why the Senate was playing so many games. And you get rebates and you turn into the Department of Revenue. It just seemed like it was making a complicated mess for no reason. And, I know the thought process was, hey, we don't want anybody in South Carolina to actually pay it. We want them to all get the rebates, and then the tourists that drive through here don't bother to get the rebate, and they pay that 12 cents. It just seemed like a very complicated way to go around your elbow to get where you want to be. But that being said, we've got to fix the roads in the state of South Carolina, and whatever bill we pass, as long as it generates revenue, I'm going to be okay with that at the end of the day.
And are you okay with Governor McMaster saying he may veto the gas tax increase?
Well, hopefully there'll be enough votes to override the governor, and I like the governor, we're friends, but I would just simply disagree with him that we need a gas tax desperately to fix our roads. We're the #1 city in the world here in Charleston, South Carolina. We got the worst roads in the world leading up to our city, so certainly the worst roads in the United States, if not the world, but certainly the United States.
Well, let me get back to Columbia, because obviously you've been out of the House of Representatives for a couple of months now. What part of you says that you miss it, and what part of you said that I need to go back there and do something?
Well, when you see things going on, you're obviously always saying, "Hey, this would be a perfect opportunity to get in there and jump in and fix this, or get in there and apply the pressure point in the right way and get the funding for this or that situated." I did a lot of that and enjoyed it, but I'm very pleased that I'm not there and that there's new people taking over. It's public service, and you don't need to do it for your whole life. There's a season for everything in your life, and I'm happy to be sort of retired, sitting on the sidelines looking in, and try not to be money morning quarterback. I'm trying to be supportive of everybody and provide positive input. But the General Assembly is a great institution, and it'll be around a lot longer than you and I will probably be around. But some great people there. We got good people from Charleston, Mike Santilli.
Right.
Representative McCoy. They say he's going to be appointed the next U.S. Attorney, and
I heard.
we got Representative Wendell Gilliard. He's always a man of the people. He's always in there doing his thing.
Right.
And a lot of other great leaders from here in Charleston. So, we're okay.
Let me pause there, because you mentioned, obviously Peter McCoy might be up for U.S. Attorney General. As you know, the governor's race is heating up very quickly between Governor McMaster, Catherine Templeton, Yancey McGill, and probably Jane Smith. As we sit here right now, who do you endorse right now?
Well, the three you mentioned, Republicans, and then James Smith would be a Democrat. I'm very good friends with James Smith, know his whole family, but I wouldn't support James Smith because he's just not my brand of politics. He's a Democrat, a liberal Democrat, and I'm a conservative Republican. At this point, we've got Templeton, who's from here in Charleston, a nice young lady. We've got Henry McMaster, who's my friend, and Yancey McGill, who is my friend, and I would think that Yancey and Henry would both have a lot of experience to bring to the job. Yancey got a lot of things done while he was in the state Senate.
Right.
Henry's been good to work with. Didn't work with Ms. Templeton much, but seems like a nice lady. So, we got a lot developing here. We'll just have to let it develop.
Sure.
But I'll be with a Republican, that's for certain.
Well, let me turn to this headline from the Post and Courier on May 2nd. The headline reads, "Bill granting permit-less gun carry advances in South Carolina Senate, while legislation closing Charleston loophole stalls for the year." Why did it stall in your mind?
I thought that the Charleston loophole stalled because some of the Second Amendment activists felt like it was an infringement upon their right to have that waiting period. The other part of that, why did that pass? That I think it just passed the subcommittee. I don't think it passed the House. So I've got a gun permit, but I think it's good to have the permit system in place so that we can go and get training and go and make sure that everybody's competent and capable of carrying their gun, rather than just say, okay, well, it's back to being, like we used to do it in Dodge City, and everybody can have the constitutional carry. If we lived out west, maybe, but I think here in South Carolina, I like the system we have now, where SLED administers the licenses, and we all have to get a license. And I have my permit, and sometimes I carry my weapon, sometimes I don't. Normally I don't. Okay. And, so not sure how I would have voted had I been there. Probably, well, interesting. That's an interesting one. I see both sides of the argument, but I do like the system we have here in South Carolina now.
Let me take you to Washington. CBSNews.com actually posted this particular article just yesterday, and it reads, House Republicans narrowly pass GOP healthcare bill. What is the future of healthcare in your mind?
Well, I think, during the campaign, the mantra was we're going to eliminate Obamacare, and now I think people come to realize that parts of Obamacare may be here to stay. So I think that they've just, and I haven't read the whole bill, so it's hard for me to comment on it, but I think what they've done is changed enough of the aspects of the bill to bring the Freedom Caucus members on board, and that did it. Once they brought those 20 members on board, that ensured the passage of I don't know what they're calling it now, it was formerly the Affordable Care Act, the Obamacare, and now it's something that narrowly passed the House, and the Senate I think is going to be changing it a great deal also. But obviously they made some provisions that appeal to conservatives.
Well, fill in the blanks for me. The South Carolina General Assembly will do what?
Hopefully pass a gas tax. I think that's primary. Fix our roads. That'd be another one. Fix the hole in the state retirement system. We got a $17 million hole in our state retirement system, and if you're a state retiree out there, you need to be paying attention to that, because that well could dry up, and you wouldn't have your retirement check coming in your old age. That wouldn't be too good, because you're banking on it. You're working your whole life. You're a state employee, and you maybe don't make the big bucks that you would make in the private sector, but you got that security blanket of a good retirement at the end of the road. That's in jeopardy right now. So. Well,
Chip Limehouse, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate this.
Quintin, good to see you.
Likewise.
You didn't bring me a barbecue sandwich.
Hey, your place right across the street. Both places are good. Yeah. Thank you.